All right. So, as you have gone through in the previous classes, that this week is going to be completely on software engineering. The another benefit of having this right now here is the students who have no exposure to software engineering before, they can get a bit of understanding with Python and how to write some basic program, Python, class, OOPS, and these concepts. This is also a good opportunity for refresher for VST Platoon students. If you have not used this in depth, especially the concepts of OOPS, classes, inheritance, and these things. So this is what we had started. But going forward, I think this week is going to be on software engineering, and one or two more weeks are for us going to be given on database, like what is database, writing basic SQL queries, some file operations, and finishing those important lessons. We will be actually starting going back to our curriculum of DevOps. Okay. So with this idea, we will continue with today's lesson. I know that for Whiskey Platoon restaurants and maybe some more restaurants, these lessons would all already be familiar with you. Okay. So so that's fine. So you can take this opportunity as a kind of refresher or revision from me. And for new students, anyway, this is a new lesson. But once we finish the lesson, we will have some assignments to finish. And this is where I would like everyone to work and finish the assignments so that you can practice the use cases as well. Okay, so let me start the lesson now, okay, with this background. So the lesson that you are going to have today, that is going to be on classes and inheritance and object-oriented programming concepts. Okay, so can someone tell me what is object-oriented programming? Oop, you have taken this lesson last class, right? What is object? Everywhere we are at least 50 times you, oh, 17 times there is object written here. What is this object?
Is the object just well, I guess an instant, I mean, in terms of classes, an instance of a class?
What a class then?
A class is like a blueprint for recreating the same thing, so you don't have to keep doing it yourself multiple times. It's probably like a concept that was developed for that reason.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So can you tell me some examples of its use cases?
I'm thinking back to our projects right now, but like in our databases, like if you create a class for a table, then you can create multiple inputs or entries from the same, or like for different things or for different people. Like if you create a user account table with a class for the user.
Hmm, very good example. Yeah, exactly. So you don't really have to declare the things always. You can just have a blueprint and you can just create multiple copies of it, multiple instances of it. Okay. So this blueprint is the class and that instance is your object. Okay. And the approach to build application using this methodology, this approach is object-oriented programming. Okay. So not all programming languages support OOPS. Okay. But the program languages who support, it seems that Java is considered one of the purest form of OOP. Okay, so Java is one of the most popular program framework right now, development framework. Python also is um, supports OOPS. Okay, so object-oriented programming gives you the advantage that you don't have to repeat yourself many times. You can just declare the blueprint once and you can use it many times. And this is what is your objects. Okay. So this is how far we have seen in the class before. Even before, I believe that you might have seen the lessons on Python variables, list, strings, data types. You might have seen functions, methods, classes, and some more additional things like error handling, closure, scope, finally, and some other routines and inheritance and those things. Okay. So this is the basics of Python you must have seen. And I will recommend everyone to go through this because we will be using a lot of examples based on Python in our class. Okay, so with this idea, do you have any questions so far? Okay, so I will still try to be slow considering the students who may be learning this lesson first time, but still feel free to raise questions or anything. Okay. Yeah, so I think we will be doing that. So there is a question from Yems that will there be breakout room opportunities that you can work on the projects? I do accept those requests because I believe that some of these lessons may already be familiar with the students from Whiskey Platoon. Okay. So once I finish the lesson, you're confident. What you can do is you can probably go and you can take the challenge. Okay. So you have some programming challenges, take the challenge. If you're able to finish challenge, well and good. If you're not and you feel project has some more urgent things to be done, you can go in the breakout room and you can work with your team or you can work individually. And I will be there to assist anyway. Even if it is in your project, I believe that I can give some help if at all needed. Okay. So opportunity will be there again today. Yeah, but let's first finish the class. And I think I will try to be a bit quicker so that if you want, you can work in the breakout room. And those who may need more time to learn, they can still stick with me and ask me doubts. Okay, so with this, this is what we have seen before. That was the part one of classes. We have seen what is class. It's a blueprint. What is object? It's a copy. It's an instance of that blueprint. Okay. So this is what we have seen so far. Today we will be going ahead and we will be actually creating some classes, we'll be creating some projects, and we will be observing the behavior of the class, how it works when you use it. Okay. So if you are on your machine, okay, then get your system and let's open Python. I'm not sure how do you use Python. Does anyone use Jupyter Network, IPython Network, Notebook, or how do you write Python programs, some basic programs?
I think usually they use VS Code, like Yam said.
Okay, directly VS Code. Okay. Okay, yeah, no, yeah, that's fine as well. Yeah.
Right.
So VS Code is good. Okay. VS Code is good if you have a large set of code to run. Okay. But Python, is not a compiled language. It's an interpreted language. Can someone tell me what is difference between them?
A compiled language, you have to actually compile all of your code into separate files, and then you run those files with like for Java, you have a JDK where
Mhm.
it'll compile and then you actually run the code versus the interpreted language. It kind of sort of like compiles itself and it runs Python runs it all um, through like one process versus having to separately compile and then run files with separate like commands and systems.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Exactly. Okay. So Python is interpreted. That means it does not take the complete code and compiles it, creates some bytecode or something. The moment you give instructions, it will just sequentially follow those instructions. It will just run those instructions. So that's the beautiful part that those instructions can be even smaller. So since it is interpreted language, we will be using an interpreter, and you can use any type of interpreter you want. Okay. For such use cases, for like data science use cases and all, normally Jupyter Notebook is most famous. So if you don't know about it, go and search about it. Jupyter Notebook. This is very popular project. Okay, almost like everyone uses this for most of the purpose. Okay, like that. Okay, so this is Jupyter Notebook. Okay, that is based on browser or it could be based even on your terminal, and the terminal version is called IPython. Okay, interpreted Python. So I use something called IPython. Okay, and it gives you Python interpreter on your terminal itself. Okay. If you don't have IPython, you can simply type IPython 3, and this will also work. Okay. This also works in the same way. Okay. Or if you want to use, let's say, Jupyter Notebook, you can use Jupyter Notebook, okay, here. And for example, this is very, very useful for such use cases. You can go and you can write here, okay, like print, and you can run this here, okay, and it will just run for you like that. Yeah. Okay, so these are like the 3 different options. Okay, depending on what you use, I would recommend all of you to get one interpreter. Okay, if you don't have anything, just type Python 3 and it should open an interpreter. This one is a little bit nicer. Okay, it gives some history and all. So I would be using IPython 3. Okay, if you want to install IPython 3, you can just simply write pip install IPython. Okay, and it should install IPython 3 in your system. Oh, I already have, yeah, you can see I already have this already installed. You can write pip install IPython. Okay, so depending on you follow this or you follow that, both of them will equally give the same results. So with this, let's continue. Okay. So this is what we are going to do is we'll go and create a class first of all. Okay. And then we will instantiate the class. So how do we create a class? We write class, okay, and we write dog, okay. So it's a class we are creating with name dog, okay. And you can see that we can declare some variables in the class. So this is called class variable, okay. Why this is called class variable? Because this is written inside the class itself. I'll copy this, I'll paste here. And after this, you can see that it is declaring definition def. What is def? And what is init? Okay. Mm,
It's a function. Well, def defines any function in Python, and then the init is the constructor for the class. So any new instance of the class will have to pass in those parameters to construct a new instance.
very good. And why do we need constructor? Why do we need this at all?
In order to actually utilize the class and make different instances, the constructor um, needs to be set and have the parameters and define the instance attributes so that each instance of an object or in each instance of a class has the attributes that are defined in the constructor. Otherwise, it would just be an instance of a class that doesn't really have any use.
For every practical reason, exactly. Though you can actually define a class and use it without even having a constructor, okay? But it is very complicated and not easy to use. That's why people came up with the concept of constructor, because otherwise you will have to always use the variable and always you will have to set it manually. Okay, so now we'll be creating this constructor. Okay, so just be very sure that it follows the indentation in Python. So we are defining, def means defining a class. What is the class? Sorry, defining a method function. And what is this function? This is init. This is special type of function, okay, which is called constructor, okay, and it will be used to actually create an object, okay. It's also a function only, but it's a special type of function, okay. And you have 2 parameters here. One is self and one is name, okay. So anyone else except Tom? Because it seems Tom is well versed with Python, it seems. Anyone who wants to try? What is self?
Isn't it the class itself? So dog, it's referencing that.
Yeah. Why do we need this self? Can I declare without self? I mean, I go here, I delete it. Will it work or not?
I don't think so, but that's a guess.
I mean,
Is it
technically,
because
can't you call it any name you wanted to
Mhm.
represent itself? But by convention, you're supposed to represent self. Like, does that make sense when I'm asking?
No, definitely, Neka. You're pretty close. So you're suggesting that it is a convention, but why? Why do we have this convention? What does it do?
Doesn't it represent an instance?
Yeah, exactly. This represents your instance itself. So what happens is that when you create my dog, okay, is equal to this, okay, then you'll be sending a name here, right? Because this is what you have declared here, name. Then what happens is that Python would always send the instance name itself as the first parameter when calling. Now to hold that, you have this self. It may be anything else. It need not be like self only. The variable could be anything else, but by convention we give self always. Right now, if you give, it will throw you error because you're trying to send two arguments. You may say, where I'm sending only one. Whenever you create instance, the instance name itself goes there. Okay, so this is the reason we'll be giving here self, and this is convention that we will always give it name self only. Okay, you can give some other name and that also works. Okay, so we have created this class which has a type. The dog type is canine, and the constructor has name in this. And now we will be creating an object of this class. How do we create an object? So we will give the object name. So you can see this is dog A. So write dog A, and we'll be giving the class name, and you'll be closing this. And then you will see what does the constructor need. So constructor is looking for the name of the dog. So you'll write name. Okay. So name is apricot. And you can see we have created first instance of the class itself. Sounds good. Similarly, we can go ahead and create another class, dog B. Okay. But now since we have created this instance, if we print, okay, dog A dot type, this dog A, since this is the instance of the class, blueprint. So anything in this blueprint would be part of this actual instance. So if I write dog A dot type, it should print canine. Okay. If we write dog B dot type, it will also print canine. Okay. Both of them are printing canine, but at the same time, if I write dog A, okay, dot name, okay, and if I write dog B dot name, it is buddy. Can someone tell me why A dot type, B dot type is same value? A dot name, B dot name is different value.
Because type is a class variable, so it applies to everything that you make. But then name only refers to whatever instance that you made.
Beautiful. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So what we did is we have put this part of the constructor. Okay. So this one is common. So this is class variable. This one will vary based on the instance, and you have passed this value, right? So it will get changed. Okay. Any question on this? Okay. So if I want to change the name, how can I do that? Let's say I want to change the name of this dog, dog B. Can I pass the value like this? New name. What do you think? If I print dog B dot name, what will get printed? New name, right? If I print dog A dot name, it will remain the original name. Why did it happen? Why dog A dot name is not the same, a new name?
These are separate instances of the class.
Exactly, there are several instances. Exactly. Yeah. Perfect. Exactly. Okay. All right. So going forward, we'll be playing with this same concepts a bit. Okay. But now let's go ahead and learn about class methods. So the way we declared variable in the class, we can declare methods as well. Okay. So we had declared the class here. We declared the method. We will declare another function here. Okay. And this function is update color. So what this function will do is that it will take the value and update the color itself. Okay. So I will go ahead and put this. And it should be in proper indentation. Okay. And it seems this should be here. Okay. So we are going to declare this class with another function that is update. Okay. So now if I want to update the color, okay, then we have to pass the value argument. Okay. So let's say we get dog A. Okay. And we go here and we give dog A update color. Okay. Okay. Dog object. Okay. Why does this problem show? What happened? This is no color update. I just gave update.
It's because you instantiated the dogs prior to adding that that
Yeah.
function to the class.
Exactly. So let's see dog C is equal to, we will give another dog. Okay. Right, dog. Give it a name. This is what we have to give, right? So we give it name dog C only. Okay. So we have created dog C dot name. If I see, I have gotten dog C name. Okay. And if I go here and if I do update color, now you see, now it has worked. So if I see dog dot, okay, see, it will now bring black color. Okay. So this is that we can use functions as well in the class. Sounds good? Okay, so now we'll be looking at modifying the class and instance attributes through methods. Okay, so if we want to change the values, okay, through methods, can we do that or not? This is what we are going to see. Okay, so I'm going to clear this and I'm going to create this class. Okay, and let's see what it does. So this is the class. It has two class variables, species and color. It has a constructor which takes name and breed and sets name and breed. And there is a function which will help you change the breed as well. So sounds very fair to me. Okay. Any question on this? Any part you don't understand? Okay. So if everyone understood this part, then let's go ahead and create some instances of this. So first is dog C and another is dog B. Okay. So we have gotten two instances of this class. Now you can see if I search docc.breed, it will print the breed of the docc. If I print docd breed, it will print the docd breed. Right? Any questions on this? Anyone who is not able to follow? I believe that for some of you, it would be very new concept. Okay, let me see what is in chat. Yes, could do. Yeah, Replit is also good. Python interpret is good for past examples. Yeah, Replit also helps. True. All right, so I believe that everyone is understanding so far. And similarly, if you see dog c dot color, what does this print? This prints brown. And if I do dog d dot color, it also prints brown. So these two have different name, but they all share the same color because color is the class variable. Sounds good? Okay. And this function we already used, that if we run this, it will go and update the breed of dog C. This is dog C, right? We are calling method update breed. It will go and change the breed name. So the breed name here initially is cocker, and so the new name but would be dog C dot breed. Okay. Everyone followed this?
I'm following Chandra, but could you speak real quick to the benefits of an attribute and a method? Like what are the benefits over creating this as a method versus having it as an attribute, but and maybe some of the drawbacks?
Yeah, sure. Very interesting. Yeah. So what you're seeing is like two different types of the attributes or features what we are seeing here. Okay, that the Python is providing. The basic one that you see is the variable. So as the name sounds, variable, they vary. You can change their value. Okay, and this is called function. Okay, so as the name sounds, function, it does some function. Okay, whatever you tell, it will just do that function. For example, if you open your calculator and you tell 2 plus 2, it will give you 4. So the plus what you give here, that plus is the operator, is the function, it performs some operation on the values. Okay, so similarly, this is going to perform some value, perform some action. So this is the reason we give it this name definition. What is the definition of this function? What is this function going to do? So what this will do, it will just go and check the current value, okay, and just update the new value. Okay, this far is clear, Troy? Very good.
Yes.
So what essentially happened here is we created, yeah, look here again. So those who did not understand, look here. So we created dog C. Okay, what is the breed? Breed name is Cocker Spaniel. Okay, so when I created doxy and I'm printing doxy.breed, okay, it is giving me the name. Okay, I want to change the breed. Okay, for example, let's say I want to change my citizenship. So it could be the citizenship, and if I want to change it, I can go ahead and say doxy dot update breed. I could say Chandra dot update citizenship and give the new citizenship, and it will change the citizenship value. Okay, so this function is performing the task, this variable is holding the value. Okay, very good. All right, so we are able to change the breed. Now we are going to change the color. Doxy dot color is equal to, let's say, white. Okay, so what was the first color? It was brown. I have given the color doxy dot color is equal to white. If I write doxy dot color, what should it print? White. Okay, so what did this change? Color. Color is the class variable, right? So what do you think? What would happen here? Will it remain, will it become white or will it remain brown? The original value. Remember, it is class variable. What would happen?
I say white.
Okay, so someone said it should be white.
I'll go brown.
Okay. Some more name.
If it's a class variable, shouldn't it affect every single instance?
Yes.
So wouldn't it be white?
Yeah, it should be. Okay, so let's see. It's class variable. Do you see? It is class variable, no doubt. But it did not take this. So you wanted to update the bank balance of someone. You updated the class variable. Balance is equal to balance plus $500. What happened is the person did not get any money. His balance was $5,000. It remained $5,000. Any reason? Someone said brown. Someone said that it would remain the same. Who said this? I think it was Eric, right?
Yeah, I said it.
Why do you think it is class variable?
Because they're different objects. Or I'm not really sure. Like I was just thinking, yeah.
Okay, dog versus cat. Okay, let's create new one. Okay, and then let's see what happens. So let me take copy this one, and I would first of all, and let me give it the, okay, and I'll give this breed name Sula, and first value is the name. Okay, Quickie. Okay. Okay, so the name is Quickie, and again, I invented this names, and since they are pretty names, so this is dog E, name is Quickie, and breed name is Sula. Okay. Problem is, what will be its color? Okay, that's the question. Will it be brown or will it be white? Okay. So dog is created. Dog E dot color. Yeah. Brown or white?
Still brown.
Okay. Someone else? No one wants to take the plug.
Brown.
Brown, okay.
Brown.
Okay, so everyone is, it seems, with brown.
I already typed instead of speaking, but yeah, brown.
Okay, yeah. But what happened to the concept of class variable? What is the meaning of class variable then?
The class variable, so every instance is going to have that, but you can change it for each individual instance, but it's not going to change it for like the overarching class.
Exactly. So what happens is this class variable, if you override this manually, okay, it will change for that value, not for others. Okay, so as Trisan told, okay, so that is the difference. Okay, there is a small mistake here though. Okay, it is telling that the value will change. There's a small mistake here. Okay, in this, we just saw that if you change C color, D color does not change. So I think there is a mistake. Otherwise, I will read it again. But it seems this should be different.
I think you're right about the mistake, Chandra, but I feel like I know what he was going for there with we talked about it in the chat a little bit, but we're referencing the instance there. But if we were going to try and update a class variable, we should reference the class and then the variable that we're trying to update. I'm trying to think in my head. I think if you updated it properly, we would see the changes that we expect, right? Like you could change update the color on an instance, and then if we were to update the class variable afterwards, it would probably override it if we do it properly.
You're right. So actually, the way what is happening is, I think you should. I think what it wants to write is actually setting this itself. Setting the class value itself it wants to write. And I think this, if you write here, this will change the class variable value. Phil, this is what you're trying to say, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So what, yeah, so let's see. Okay, so dog EF, okay? And let's give it this. Sula F, Wiki F. Okay, dog F dot color. Right? So there is a small mistake here, as Phil pointed out. The modified value of the way how you should modify the value of the class should be the class direct change. Okay, changing the instance has no effect on the class value itself. You have to change the class itself, right? Phil, did I say correctly?
Yes, I think that was what I was going for.
Okay. All
This
right.
question, does it go back and modify existing instances, or is it only moving forward if you change a base class value?
So E is changed. Okay. Let's see what would happen to D. D is changed. What would happen to C? Right. But if I go D.C.color and if I make it brown, what would be it again?
Brown.
Exactly. Okay, so I hope that this made the concept clear to everyone that class variables, if you have to change, you have to directly change the class itself. Any changes made on the instance has no effect. Okay, so this is what is, this is the use of this, that if you want to change this, if you want to change anything for every variable, then you have to go and change the class variable directly. But this should be done with very careful review. Otherwise, what would happen is if you change the value, it may affect every objects already created. Okay. All right. So this was the part 2, okay, where we have learned how to use classes, creating objects, and we understood the way to call the methods, the functions, and then we saw how to use class variables. Okay. So that was in the lesson today. Okay. In the way how the lesson has been put, in the afternoon, I would probably be teaching class inheritance. But assuming that, you want to finish maybe now or something, I could probably finish it now, or we can probably open the breakout room and you can start working on the projects, okay, on the challenges. So what we would do now is, it's an hour or over an hour. So we'll go for first of all a break. Returning 10 minutes, we will discuss about it. Okay, same time. So we later changed that, okay, to capital D, and that changed the class variable, and because of that, it worked out fine. Okay, so with this, we will be now going for practice, okay? And what you have to do is, so there are total 5 challenges, okay? So in these 5 challenges, first 3 challenges are like programming related challenges. So you have to write some programs. And this is a very useful skill for everyone to gain. That is that you should be able to write some Python code and be able to solve some problems. Okay. Though DevOps engineers may not need to be doing this in regular basis, or you may not have to write complicated logic and all. But this is good to know. Okay. This is good to know and very useful in many times, especially I think this is part of interview process always. So these 3 are the programming challenges. So if you have not solved this before, okay, then this is the programming challenge that you have to go and solve. Okay. So this is programming related challenge. And the first challenge that you see, you can go and read the description. It has given it very properly that what is the Armstrong number. And then next one is that you have to create a user class, okay? And let me see, yeah. You have to create a user class, and this is where the concept of class will come in picture. And here you have to use another one. You have to create premium user, free user, okay? So this you have to do. And the second one is object-oriented challenge. So you can see it here. So you have to you have to simulate a bank balance use case. Okay. So we will be going and solving this challenge. Does anyone have question or confident? Do you feel confident about solving this? Or have you already solved it? Okay. So let's go and solve this challenge then. Okay. And I feel this challenge is pretty good. Okay. The bank balance. This is pretty good. You have to create a class, customer bank account. You have to create these fields. You have to create methods. You have to create getters and setters to get the value, set the value. And you have to create two additional functions, deposit and withdraw. Okay. So this will create the complete code. It will be like a bank balance. I think this one is the easiest one, and totally based on what we learned so far. So what we can do is those who have solved it, those who know it, you can please go ahead and do it. And those who do not know it, we will give you 1 hour of time. Let's say 1 hour and a half probably in the breakout room, solve it. We will come back to the main room and I will see the code. I will see if you have any doubt on otherwise. If needed, I will solve it myself and show you how to do it. Sounds okay? Okay. So this is kind of a work day now. Okay. You have to go and work for next 1 or 2 hours and solve this. I think this one is good. This one is good. And this one is good. This one is a bit advanced. Okay. And this one is easy. These two are easy. Okay. So you can go and check. Anyway, so I expect this one to be the easiest and everyone to solve. Those who have something critical, something urgent on your whiskey platoon, you can work on that as well if you want. All right. Okay, so let me open the breakout room and I will create some more rooms today. Let's say I will create 11 rooms. Okay. And so those who are in a team, you can work in a team. Those who want to work separately, you can work separately. You can message me, hey Chandra, can you come to room 7? I'm in room 7. I will come to room 7. Okay. I will probably call you all in the main room to show you how to solve this assignment if you have. Okay. Yeah, let's see how many of you get this. All right, so breakout room is open and please go ahead and solve, I think, the constructor challenge one first of all. Okay. All right, let's do some coding, everyone.